Welcome to another episode of The Inside Rip. Today's guest, Jets team reporter Caroline Hendershot, who talks about the upcoming season with Geno Smith at helm and what Jets fans can look forward to, not only with this draft class, but the 2027 draft class. The Jets have the second pick in the draft, but I feel
they do.
Like you guys have already made the best pick in the NFL right now with getting Geno Smith from the Raiders. A $20 million QB you're paying $3 million for this year. So you're getting a rookie QB basically with over a decade of experience. What have you heard around the team since that trade happened on how Geno's going to be utilized this time around?
I think everyone is very excited for Geno, obviously. Yeah. But I also think that something that maybe is a little underappreciated about him is like he's been around the block. He's been on a couple different teams, which I personally, people might think that's a bad thing. I personally always think that's a good thing. You're playing in different systems. You're playing under different coordinators. You're throwing the ball to different wide receivers. Like you're learning new skills and traits no matter what. So I always think that's a positive thing. Because if you're doing the same thing over and over, how are you getting better, you know? So I think that everyone's really excited for Geno, especially to like kind of be in this position that he's in. I do also think from everything I've heard from draft analysts, obviously Fernando Mendoza is like the top dog in this class, of course. Can you get another quarterback? For sure in this class, but also 2027 is a stacked draft class at every position, not even just quarterback. And I think our general manager, Darren Muji, has done a great job through trades, through everything, of getting picks lined up for 2027 so that when that draft comes, the Jets not only have had, a veteran on the team, getting some experience with the guys on the roster that can then maybe ideally kind of mentor a rookie that comes in and is able to kind of show them a little bit of the tricks of the trade so that that rookie doesn't necessarily have to start right away. So personally, big fan over here.
Big fan. How's Geno feel? Is he also big fan of coming back? He's excited.
Oh, he's very excited. Very excited. And he was talking about how excited he was to throw the ball to Garrett Wilson, which I mean, if you were a quarterback, I have famously never been a quarterback. However, I too would be so excited to throw the ball to Garrett Wilson because and I feel like everyone probably says this about a wide receiver on their team, but I swear he's the most athletic person I have ever seen. The way that he can jump up and move his body and still somehow get both toes down, I'm like, you are mind-boggling. So I, too, would be very excited to throw the ball to him. So he's excited not just for Garrett, obviously, but just kind of being back in New York and being back in the green and white and being back in this kind of atmosphere with these fans and then of course with the team.
The journeymen often get that like sly, you never could last anywhere. But yes, to flip it positively, especially coming to a New York team where you and I both know the media does not take lightly no matter what your name is. No. Right? Like, I mean, even Eli Manning played for the Giants for so many years. My God, it looked like he played in enemy territory with the way they would interview him week to week.
Yep.
So there is something to be said where, especially with the Jets that has lacked consistency for so many years, you have consistency when it comes to don't bother him. He knows what to do at this point.
Right, exactly. And I think a lot of that too is, there hasn't been that, I think for a lot of years, for as long as like I can think that since I've joined the team back in like 2021, maybe even longer than that too, they have been kind of searching for that missing piece. And it's a mix between a veteran and someone who is familiar with the media. And this kind of to me is like kismet because he knows the media maybe all too well. And he is very familiar with the game of football and different systems and all of that. So to me, I really think that it is that perfect combination of the experience, knowing how to handle the media, and like that. I know people are like, oh, well, it's just the media. It's not a big deal. Guys, come be an athlete in New York and then talk to me. Like, it's not.
Sit on that podium and talk to Alex Rodriguez. Like,
it's not easy.
It's
not easy.
No. The only reason Derek Jeter, I think, outside of many World Series he won, but my goodness, did he handle the media so well? Mm-hmm. And that should be written in a book somewhere. Just here's the Derek Jeter. Go ahead.
Here's Derek Jeter media training.
I said something, but I said very little, and I didn't say enough, but I smiled.
and I tricked all of you that I answered the question.
Well, and it's also interesting to kind of both of our points, but to your point, right? Like Pete Carroll, who was Geno's last head coach, had said that Geno Smith is a phenomenal QB, and he took credibility. He said, we didn't coach him well enough when it came to the Raiders, which I think is also noteworthy because while some might think this could be a head scratcher, we can't hold Geno accountable for the abysmal season he had with the Raiders, especially considering how well he did the year before with the Seahawks.
Correct. I also think, here's the thing. I can talk about the Raiders in this way because I was raised a Raiders fan. Randomly, I know. My dad's from California. Okay. He is from just outside Oakland, and so he was like, Raiders, live or die. The Raiders did not have a good O-line. Like, that was a big missing piece for them. And so I'm sorry, I will live, breathe, and die on the hill that if you do not have a good, strong O-line, you will not have an offense. I don't care who your quarterback is. Your quarterback could be Brett Favre himself. Like, it will not work if there is no one protecting him and he is not, like, feeling that pocket and security. So I think that was also part of it. And even, like you said, Pete Carroll said they didn't put him in the best situation. So I really do think you have to take that for what it's worth because he wouldn't say that if he didn't mean it, you know?
Right. He doesn't have to. He's one of those coaches who's been there, done that, and be like, this wasn't on us. Geno sucks.
Right.
He could have said that.
Exactly. He could have.
Like, okay, Pete, you said that.
Good
kind of did that with another QB, with Russell Wilson. You know, so that didn't work out, but you don't hear high praise coming from him about that quarterback. So are the Jets, I guess this is it, like, they certainly didn't coach him well enough in I was going to say Oakland, in Las Vegas. Are the Jets prepared to coach Geno Smith this coming season?
I have the utmost belief in Aaron Glenn. And I think that it is maybe hard to see that after the year that the Jets just had in his first year. But again, I would like to remind people, I feel like I have a broken record at this point because I've been saying this like nonstop. Like, Dan Campbell's first year wasn't great. And you have to have a year under your belt to learn and then to grow and to pivot and make coaching changes, make roster changes, figure out what you need, figure out what worked, what didn't work. It's experience. Like, that's what comes with the territory. So obviously everybody wanted to hire Aaron Glenn and have the Jets make the playoffs immediately. That rarely happens. I know it happens, but it is not often. And so I think it's more so him getting his feet underneath him this past season and then now getting the pieces in place on the roster that he thinks will make the best fit for him. So I think they're doing a great job. I also credit Darren Muji, the GM, again, because he has been phenomenal in the way that he's been trading and working the phones and free agency and the draft and getting picks and all of that. I think he's really talented. So I think they are heading in, all of the signs, I would say, are pointing in the right direction.
What do you think is really, whether it's Muji or Glenn, in year two for Aaron Glenn specifically, like, what's different? Like, I just get a sense from you, something is different right now with the Jets.
Yeah, I honestly think it has been since he walked in the door. For me personally, I think it's the attitude that he brings as a head coach is really like, he respects his players respect him, but it's very no nonsense because he holds everyone to a very high standard. And so I've seen people make incredible plays on the field, great catch, a touchdown, run off, and he will immediately like talk to them. And you can tell, can't always hear what he's saying, but you can tell he's critiquing them on something, but then at the end he's like, but great job, like, loved that, and tapping him on the back. So there is always that, like, okay, yes, you did a good job, but this is how we can make it better. This is how you can kind of get to the next level, the next step. So I think it's truly been since he set foot
Wow.
in one Jets drive that he has kind of really changed the culture. And for me, that's a coach that I would want to play for. I know my athletic days are long behind me, but like that would be inspiring and motivating to me.
In addition to Geno Smith, the Jets are also bringing back linebacker Demario Davis. What's up with the team trying to get the band back together?
I know, right? We're like, okay, call the boy band. We got to get him back.
Wrap them all up.
I think part of that is the Jets are really young. Like at their core, they are really young. And like that was something that we saw, I think, at times last year was when there was an injury at a certain position and, you know, the starter had to go out, whether it was for a couple plays, whether it was for a couple games, you could see how green they were. And not that the young guys on the roster, the rookies, the second-year players, not that they were bad by any means. It was just like there were some things, and coaches even admitted it, there were some things where it was just like they've never experienced that specific situation or that specific play before. So, you know, it's a little bit of like a learn as you go, and you have to get experience and kind of figure these things out, because if you haven't experienced it, how are you supposed to know? So I do think a lot of the reason why you see the Jets going after some of these like older players, they're not old, older players in free agency is because of that. Like they need these guys who have a great foundational base to then teach and kind of impart their wisdom and their knowledge, for lack of a better word, on the rookies and the younger guys on this team.
Yeah. No, you need those pieces to kind of steer the ship, right? While everyone's working.
Build the foundation, all of it.
Exactly. What do you see the Jets trying to be over the next couple of years then? Like how far are the Jets looking at the future versus Aaron Glenn also having job security? Let's be real.
Right. I mean, I think if you were to ask Aaron Glenn this question, he'd be like, I'm focusing on the now, obviously. Like I'm focusing on what's at hand. As usual, I feel like whenever we ask a player, a coach, anyone on the podium, hey, I know you have a game this weekend, but this happened, they're like, we're focusing on the opponent at hand. And you're like,
For
okay,
sure.
I tried. But I do think, I would say like looking ahead to 2027 and that draft, you can see them building that foundation. So sure, they are trying to focus on the here and now. That's why they're getting these pieces in free agency. That's why they're making the moves that they're making. But also they're setting themselves up not just in a good position for this year, but an even better position next year. And I think that's really important to note because, yes, of course, head coaches in this league always are probably a little bit concerned about job security. However, when I always say, no matter how good, no matter how bad a first year is for any coach, you can't count it. Like, it's just like you have to see the consistency or the growth build. Like, you can see the consistency with Andy Reid and why he was so great. Or like when Bill Belichick was in New England, you could see that consistency over that like span when they were reigning champs. So for me, I always think you need time to see these things accrue. And like next year isn't that far off. Again, I famously not an owner of an NFL team, but I would like to see them kind of watch this growth happen, because I think the potential, including all of the assets they have for 2027, is really exciting.
Yeah, look, you guys are in a tough division. It's not like you're playing against another team that's not a 500 team. Like, the teams compete in Super Bowls, right? Like,
and you know what's so annoying is like the Patriots took like a year off, and then they were like, okay. And I was like, there was no Tom Brady anymore. I thought we were okay for a second. Yeah.
But you know what they did? They had an offensive line, and they protected their star player. It makes sense. I mean, so what would a good season for the Jets this year look like? And considering, let's consider that Geno may be that guy.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think it was 2022 season when I want to say they won 7 games, I want to say. I'd like to see them get over, obviously, 7 games.
500.
But
okay.
In 2022, they won a lot of games that they weren't supposed to. And that was, I think, the most fun part about following along with them for that season and reporting on them, was because I remember when we were at Cleveland, I think it was like week, maybe like 3-4, Joe Flacco was a quarterback and Garrett Wilson was a rookie, and they scored 2 touchdowns with like 2 minutes left. It was the craziest ending to a game. I was like, what is happening? And they pulled off a win, and it was phenomenal. And Garrett Wilson went on to be like the rookie of the week. And I was just like, this is so fun when people are already counting you out and just like don't have any kind of hope or maybe belief in you, and you're just like, we're here and we're going to keep showing up and we're going to keep surprising you. I think those, to me, are always the most exciting and meaningful wins. But of course, it's like the divisional games that I think are going to be the true markers. Like those AFC East opponents, I would love to see, more than any number of wins, I would like to see really close games in those against the Bills, against the Pats, against the Dolphins. Like I want to see them, if not beating them, getting like right up down to the wire with them.
Keep them interesting.
Right.
Look, you mentioned Garrett Wilson, but like a guy like Breece Hall, these guys have been staples to the Jets offense. When the Jets turn this thing around, will Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall be in the building?
I think so. I really do. And I know that, like, I mean, I'll be the first to say, like, you couldn't have told me that Sauce was going to get traded midseason. You know, like, no one saw that coming.
You're not in that position, so I don't blame you.
Right. But famously, not a GM. But I will say that, like, I think Garrett and Breece I remember when they were drafted. Like, I was at that draft. And I always think of them as, like, babies. And I'm like, no, you're fully grown men. Like, you're not. But I think you can tell by the way that they've gone about their business and just like what pros they are, but also how much they really do love the fan base, this team, and everything that comes along with it. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but really, like, when you are giving your all day in, day out, and you are working to turn a thing around, tell me it won't be the most gratifying thing to be on the other side of it. Like, it would be... I think it would mean so much to them. Obviously, it would mean so much to the fan base. Obviously, it would mean so much to every player on the roster. But for them to come in and be like, this is our mission. We know what we were drafted to do, and we're going to stick it through it and like get this ship on its course. I think that they personally want to be a part of that.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. What the Jets are doing right now, they're pulling in strategic veteran players, and they're setting up guys like Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall to have better success than, you know, their rookie years where they're like, you're expecting me to do what right now? Like,
but they have risen to those occasions. Like, even when they were rookies, they were immediate contributors. And so I think that's even like the more impressive thing too with them is just, it's like they won't be stopped. And so I think it's really encouraging to like see them and know them and just like know that they have this fire in them. Yeah,
that's exciting to hear. I think the overall sentiment that I get from the New York Jets, which is so un-Jet-like, as a New Yorker, I know this, I'm familiar with this team, that like this is exciting. It feels smart. It feels safe versus some of the more extravagant things that have happened in the past.
And you will hear fans still say, I hate everything about this. I hate everything that's been done. And that's okay. Because you know what? I understand that like not everyone is going to like the way that everything is done. No. But for me, I love the foundation and the way that this is going. Because you can see the vision, like even just around the corner in 2027, you see all of that potential. And so I really do believe that the keys to the car are in the right person's hand, and it's just a matter of time.
All right, so you are famously not a GM, but Correct. I would love to know what the Jets are going to do with the second pick in the draft.
You and me both. You
and
me both.
Okay.
I don't know. I really wish I could tell you. But
do you think that the Jets are going to have bias towards a position in this draft? Or with that second pick, is it about getting the best talent available? Maybe that's more.
That's a good question. I mean, I feel as though, for me, it would probably be just because simply it is the number 2 overall pick, it would be the best talent available. Now, like, whether that be, let's say it could be anyone.
You will
Let's say
be as surprised as us because nobody shares the keys. I know.
which a
I'm
lot of people
putting
don't
you in
know
this
that.
terrible. No, it's like
No, but
they're
it's
not going
okay.
to tell
A lot
us.
of people no, so many fans are like, will DM me and be like, who are we
know.
drafting? And I'm like, I wish I could tell you. But I do think that they will probably ideally lean on the more defensive side, which I know everyone's like, but the offense also
Aaron
needs
Glenn
help.
is a defensive-minded coach, so maybe he's like, I know what I need now.
Yes,
I don't know.
And I just think that even though we have acquired some talented pieces defensively in free agency, I think there's still, they want to start building that younger core within the defense and just kind of start to develop that with these leaders that they've brought in.
Okay.
So I think it will be defense. When I'm wrong in April, no one come for me.
No, but I think, look, we are also taking into consideration what you've alluded to a handful of times, that 2027 draft class is way more stacked than this one. So
with wide receivers, with all offensive guys, really. I mean, yes, defensive too, but 27 is really, from what I've heard, all really powerful offensive talent. So I think it might be one of those situations where it's like, okay, we might take a wide receiver to develop a little bit later in this draft, but there's a wide receiver in 2027 that we have our eye on and we know we can probably get because of the picks that we've gotten.
I'm curious. This is just me being curious, but like, how much has the Aaron Rodgers trade still hurt you guys?
I think it hurts fans more than anything because I think they like built it up so much. I mean, first of all, the Achilles, that was horrible. Like, that was just so sad overall, like, because you never want to see anyone get hurt, but 4 plays into, like, after Hard Knocks, after all of that kind of hype built around it, I think that was the most heartbreaking thing for everyone because it was just like, okay, we didn't even get, like, a shot.
You got no ROI.
Yes, exactly. But I think that the fans are still like the most upset. I would say like everyone in the building is like, okay, we have turned the page. We're like on to this next chapter. But I think the fans are still really sad about it. And honestly, like I will say, so, like every time that like something where someone comes in and there's other people that come along with them, like the Randall Cobb, the Devontae Adams, like I miss those guys. Like they were just great guys to talk to in the locker room, to ask questions to. They were funny. They were so kind. And so it's like, okay, you miss that kind of aspect because at the end of the day, the players are just humans and they're mostly all great humans that I've ever interacted with.
Yeah.
And so you miss that. But I think in a lot of ways, you're like, okay, it's done. I'm not going to like ruminate on it, you know?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. The fans are still hurting a bit, but that gives
But
good
here's
perspective.
the thing: no one holds a grudge like a Jets fan. So like those will be held, you know.
They're gonna be there for like the next 80 years. That one year,
which you gotta respect. You know, you kind of be like, okay,
sure, right,
yeah, sure.
Here's where I'm gonna like. You are just gonna go. You know this team better than anybody else. Can you share some key players on offense that this team has that just hasn't had the ability to pop off because of the lack of consistency at quarterback? Want to hear, like, outside of the Garrett Wilsons and Breece Halls, but like collectors, we love offensive talent. We want to collect good players. So we're looking at someone's going to buy the Jets this year and they're hoping to pull a Jets offensive player. Who are those key players? You're like, gosh, I'm going to keep an eye out for them.
100%. Okay, so I have a couple for you. I'm going to start with Aaron Smith.
Okay.
Aaron Smith was mostly a lot of special teams action, and then later in the year he got more reps at wide receiver. But he has a lot of the tools that I think will lead to him being a successful wide receiver in the league. It's just he was very young last year. Mm-hmm. They were trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work, how to kind of make an offense work with a new coordinator, with a new system, all of that thing. And then he was a rookie on top of it. So I think I was always impressed when he was on special teams. He was always, he's so fast. That is one thing that I think maybe gets lost with special teams too a lot of the time. He is so fast. I think he really has all of the tools to be really successful. Another one that we've seen a little bit of before, but his season got cut short, Braylon Allen. He's a running back. He's behind Breece Hall typically, but the way he runs the ball, not that Breece Hall doesn't run like through a brick wall really aggressively, something about the way that Braylon Allen runs the ball is like insane, and he just is so impactful when he does run the ball. He's maybe like won't juke you out, but he's going to run through you. And I think that is something that, again, is a little underrated with him because we didn't get to see it as much last year. Those two guys are definitely going to be on my radar this year as well. And then Mason Taylor at tight end, he was a rookie last year. He made strides. Like, he was impactful. I would love to see some more packages, some more plays that are tight end focused, because I think he could be a really, really big deal on offense if all of these things can kind of be focused around him and help shape the way that he is utilized, because he again was riddled with a little bit of injury in his rookie season with a foot, so we didn't see him as much. But every time he was on the field, whether he was blocking, whether he was catching the ball, whatever, he was impactful. So I'm excited to see him develop as well.
How do you feel about the offensive line? I'm sure you guys will use some draft stock to beef up protection for whether it's Geno or a draft pick. But, I mean, as this has been the theme of our conversation, at least.
I can't tell you how much I loved the offensive line this past season. I know there have been some guys that have already gone to other teams in free agency, with John Simpson going to the Ravens and then Elijah Vera-Tucker going to the Patriots. But Elijah Vera-Tucker didn't play a ton last year, obviously. So it was Joe Tippmann that slid over from center and ended up playing a lot of right guard when he has been playing center typically. And Josh Myers then filled in at center. And those five guys were amazing. The Jets had struggled for like the past 2 to 3 seasons specifically on getting a line that played all of the games together.
This would be your consistent line.
There was no consistency the past few years. And last year was, I think, the first year that all five had played start to finish the entire season. And so that was like just, I think, a breath of fresh air, and was like, okay, thank you. Like, we just needed that to happen so that we could just establish a base, and now we can go from there. Personally, our two bookends, who are still babies in my mind, Armand Membu, who is the new kid on the block, and then Olu Fashanu, who was only in his second year. Those two were phenomenal. I think they will be bookend of the line for the next 10 years. Like, they are and they're just consistent and steady and strong. And the best part is the two of them are like, I love this. I feel like this always happens to linemen. They're like the nicest, kindest, a little bit shy, a little bit introverted guys I've ever met. But then you see them on the field and you're like, who is that? That is not the same person that I know.
What happened under that helmet? Did they transform?
Yeah, I'm like,
are these Transformers?
You're a scary person now. Like, oh, you're so nice in the locker room, but who are you?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, all I'm hearing from you is a lot of things that Jets fans can really hold on to that are positive. A consistent offensive line right there sets everything up for success.
Yeah.
It seems like the Jets have trust with Aaron Glenn to make decisions at least over the next few years. And we're looking at least getting a few more wins under our belts, under Geno Smith. Like, people are excited to have this guy back, and they did it in a really smart way.
Yes, they did. And I think everyone is going to be like, oh, she's such a homer because she works for the team and she's just saying this because she has to. No, I genuinely get excited when I think about this upcoming season, and even more excited when I think about 2027. I really just think there's so much opportunity, and it's exciting when there's that much opportunity in front of you, because it's like, okay, we got one season under our belt. Wasn't what we wanted, wasn't what anyone wanted, but there's so much to learn from there, and there's so much room to grow. So I'm really excited.
I genuinely think that this is the most excited you've been about this team.
I would agree.
I'm like, hold on a second. The team reporter's excited.
Yeah.
Let me get you more excited. Did you get a package from me?
I did. I did get a package from you.
And she didn't open it. Please
I
open.
was so tempted. Do you know how hard that was for me? It's like holding a secret. I cannot hold a secret.
Yes, same. It's all good. Open that thing.
Yeah.
It's no longer a secret.
Oh my God, yay, finally. And I also love presents, love surprises. So sign me up.
We are here for it. I asked you before we talked who your favorite athlete was.
Yes, you did.
You slide that out.
Oh, shut up.
So that's
Oh my God.
So you said your favorite athlete was Serena Williams. That's a 2003 Net Pro Elite Event Edition Serena Williams card.
Can everyone see this? Oh my God. Okay. I never collected cards when I was younger because I feel like that wasn't what my brother did. So I wasn't really introduced to it. My brother and my dad, none of my siblings really did. Nowadays, I'm like, why the heck didn't anyone tell me about this when I was younger? I loved collecting the most random things. I would have loved collecting cards. Hello. And so now I shame my parents when I'm like, why didn't you introduce me? I used to collect postcards. That would have been, cards would have been way cooler. And this
and more valuable.
This is maybe the coolest thing ever. And I am obsessed. Also, I feel like now it only used to be baseball players and then basketball players. And now it's everyone, a Serena. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. I want a card. I want a trading card.
Well, welcome to the hobby then, because this is what we're trying to do is spread love the hobby way here.
She is my queen. The day that I meet her will be also the day that I faint on camera and maybe cry at the same time because she's the coolest person alive and was such an icon. Oh my God, such an icon.
Is that why? Why? I'm always fascinated. When I go, hey, who's your favorite athlete? And then you're just Serena Williams, which for sure. But most people are Michael Jordan, or they lean
totally.
Yeah. I think
so
she's
funny. It's so funny because my mom, I feel is such a tennis fan. She never played. She played field hockey in college, so she never played it at a competitive level. She played, in her girls' league, but she always had tennis on, and so I feel it was just always on in the house. And when I was growing up, yes, was her prime years, and I remember seeing Federer, seeing Nadal, seeing even Djokovic, and seeing all these guys, and then Serena. It was always them, and then Serena, and you could always count on Serena being in the finals, in the quarterfinals, just always at the top. And it was always between these three guys, and no one was as singularly dominant as she was. And then the fact that she got to play at the same time as her sister, I was that's so cool. I could never do that because I'd probably kill one of my sisters. So how cool for them. But I'd be mid-match, I'd be you're wearing my top. Give me back my top right now. That's my shirt. You took it out of my closet. And we'd probably have an argument in the middle of the court. So I was jealous of her for many reasons. But yeah, she was just so cool. And it was always she was just always herself, it felt which I always loved, because it's not easy to be a Black woman playing tennis, because there was no Black women playing tennis when she was at her prime. And she was just still herself. She wore whatever jewelry she wanted. She wore the crazy outfits that she liked, and she did it with confidence. And I always think of her and be I'm sure she did always have those moments where, everyone does, oh, I'm not feeling like myself today. But she always looked the part, and half of believing in yourself sometimes is faking it. And I loved everything about her. She's the best.
She's the reason we have the Coco Gauffs now. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for a Jet season. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Me too.
Welcome to the hobby, and we will talk soon.
Can't wait.